Thought I'd throw up the simple video. Ober's Cursed Trove. So I wanted to, I guess, speak about the quote overpowered things in Path of Exile, whilst showing you some footage of just me farming a Cursed Trove map. The reason this sort of started, this whole idea of making this video, it's only going to be a little short video, was I was farming Ober's Cursed Trove, which is a unique map which most people complete once for the Atlas, and then never really think about it again. If you're in hardcore, you probably don't play this map, because if for some reason you don't actually complete the map, you will be killed, which is an interesting concept, and I just thought I'd play the map. Played the map once, and I probably broke even. I think I got one red sextant, I got a couple of chaos, and maybe like something half decent in the box at the end, and I thought to myself, no, that wasn't too bad. That was something a little bit different, and I broke even. If I get a bit luckier, maybe I'll make a bit of currency. We ended up doing about 10 or 15 of these. We made a slight bit of currency, but nothing to really shout from the rooftops about. And I sat there for, I'd say it was probably an hour or two, bought some maps, ran some obers, chilled in Twitch chat, and thought that was a pretty relaxing evening. I didn't affect anybody, I didn't make anybody play in a certain way, I didn't force somebody to sort of shape their Atlas in a certain way, I didn't use sextants, I didn't use a new mana jewel that's overpowered, I didn't do whatever Reddit is currently crying about, and I just sat and I played Path of Exile on my own, chilled in Discord, chilled in Twitch chat, and farmed a map that for some reason I was enjoying at the time. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Let's say, for example, I had made a shit ton of currency doing this, right? Would that be a bad thing? I've chose to farm a map that not many people are farming. I chose to do it because it was fun. I didn't affect anybody. I didn't price fix anybody. I didn't scam anybody. I didn't, I didn't affect the economy in any way. I didn't, all these things that don't really matter anyway. Yet, there's a current discussion going on about things that are overpowered in Path of Exile. We're talking about sextants, and we're talking about sort of shaping a map. But I just don't see where it comes from. You see a lot of these people on Bay Class podcast. I haven't watched them, but I've been told about them. You see a lot of people sort of discussing, quote, OP stuff in Path of Exile, but I just don't see it. Path of Exile to me is not a game where you can have something that's overpowered, because the whole notion to me, and nobody seems to be giving this other opinion on these podcasts, the whole notion to me that something can be overpowered means it's difficult to face, right? The amount of effort to beat it is not worth it, and it frustrates you, and it makes something unenjoyable. Let's say you're Gangplank top lane, and you're laning against Pantheon, and he's suddenly got a buff, and he does twice as much damage, and it was rough before, and now it's even rougher. I guess a simple comparison for those that don't play MOBA games would be, you are trying to kill a man that has a rocket launcher that shoots infinite bullets at the speed of sound, and you have a pistol that has one bullet and then you have to reload, right? That might seem a bit unfun to play against. In Path of Exile, I am not playing against anybody. I am sat here chilling out farming Ober's Cursed Trove on my own. If I want to go and kill some endgame bosses, I'll fill out my Atlas all the way, and I'll go and kill some endgame bosses. If for some reason I don't like killing bosses, they're not something that personally I get enjoyment out of, and something that I want to spend my free time doing, I won't do them. And there's nothing wrong with that. Let's say bosses are the most profitable thing in Path of Exile, which they're probably not. But let's say, for example, they are. Now, if I don't want to do bosses, and I'm not making as much money as somebody that wants to do bosses, but I'm having fun, where is the issue in that? I'm not seeing it. To me, the issue is facing something like a lane or a matchup that you're not enjoying. Now, somebody might say, well, Sextant's overpowered because It's making maps too costly and it's affecting the game. It's not. If somebody wants to run Shaped Vault and put 30 Chaos of Sextants on every single map and get 30 Chaos of Maps return and self-sustain Shaped Vault, and they want to sit and they want to run Shaped Vault only, let them. They're having fun. They're enjoying doing a bit of Magic Find. They're enjoying the map layout. And after 2 weeks of it, they'll probably get bored and they might fill out their Atlas and they might go kill some Guardians. And then they might Sextant block for some Guardians. And they might put a lot of currency in and they might self-sustain Guardian maps or something, right? You're not playing against anybody in Path of Exile. What people don't seem to grasp, people are all about, you'll see it even in my Twitch chat, or you'll see it in other people's Twitch chat or trade chat. Everybody is about making currency. If you're not making currency, what's the point? Well, the point is fun, mate. The game is a single player game, and I feel like it's lost on people that it's a single player game. You're not facing off against somebody in a competitive environment. It's not your Overwatch placements. It's not whatever, right? It's not anything. You're just playing a single player game and you're farming Ober's Cursed Trove because you enjoy it. And maybe Shaped Vault, you make a bit of chaos back. Well, you've got to shape your entire Atlas to a Shaped Vault. You've got to get Elder Influence on it. You've got to pay about 300 chaos to Sextant block it. You've got to pay 30 chaos per map for Sextants. You've probably got to get Xanarate. You're probably wearing Rarity gear in Abysscos or whatever you've chose to do. And at the end of the day, all that player is doing is he's sat at home or wherever he may be. He's sat playing at his computer or his laptop or whatever, and he's relaxing and he's just playing a map that he enjoys. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, people say Sextants are OP. Well, if something costs 5 chaos and something drops quite rare, like rarely, because you don't really get Sextant drops that often, you've got to feel the impact of them, right? Otherwise, what's the point? You're not going to put a load of Sextants on your map and then be like, well, these weren't impactful, I won't bother with these. Of course they're going to be impactful, right? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with me sat farming Ober's Cursed Trove. There's nothing wrong with somebody farming the lab and making 100 exalts an evening off enchants, with speed running, with twice enchanted, with whatever they're doing, you know? There's nothing wrong with that either. There are multiple ways to make currency in this game. And it's about finding personal preference and about finding something you enjoy. It's not affecting anybody. There's something missing where people talk about, oh, if you put Sextants on all your maps, the XP per hour is too overpowered. Well, no, actually, it's not. If you want to spend 30 chaos on every single map and get some XP back, who are you affecting? You might be affecting the race to 100. Well, if you've entered in the race to 100, you're probably one of 3 people in the world that can win it. And yeah, they're gonna do everything to maximize XP because that's what they're finding fun, right? Because that's what they've chose to do. They're not farming Ober's Cursed Trove. They're not farming Guardians. They're not playing Caustic Arrow and farming Shaped Burial Grounds for a Headhunter, right? Everybody plays this game in a different style, and Reddit would have you believe that the only way to play this game is to ignore every single boss, roll EK Nova, and run 83,000 Sextants with a Mana Guardian, and that's the only way to play the game. Well, no, it's not. Just next time you look at Path of Exile Reddit and you see everybody bitching and you see everyone talking about overpowered, make a comment and say, actually, it's a single player game, and I like to spend the evening doing what I want. I think it's really cool that you can change the Atlas to drop what map you want. If I want to farm Shaped Strand, I can do that, right? And the whole time I'm playing Path of Exile, I can play on my own. I'm not affected by a toxic teammate that quits. I'm not affected by anything. I can chill out, put some music on, put a podcast on, farm some Shaped Strand or farm some Shaped whatever the hell map you want. If you want to manipulate the Atlas like that, you can do it. Right? That's cool. You're not affecting anybody. So I don't get this idea of stuff's overpowered and stuff needs to be nerfed and stuff needs to be changed, because yeah, maybe something is overpowered. Maybe 20,000 ES killing Shaper in hardcore without moving because of that new mana jewel interacting with the mana ascendancy. Maybe that's too strong. Maybe killing the absolute ultimate endgame boss without moving is too strong. But I certainly don't feel like Somebody that shapes their atlas or somebody that farms a random map is OP. And you would just, next time you're on Path of Exile, scroll down your friends list and have a look what people are doing at the current time. Scroll down the Twitch list all the way to the bottom and see who's doing what. People would have you believe that everybody's doing the same thing. They're not. There'll be people playing Caustic Arrow. There'll be people solo self-found. There'll be people leveling a bow character. There'll be people playing Righteous Fire, killing Uber at Zeri. There'll be people farming regular at Zeri. There'll be people like me killing at Ober's Cursed Trove. And the thing that I enjoy about this game is you can do whatever you want, and you don't have Riot Games patching something saying, actually, I want the meta to be tank, so if you're not playing a tank, fuck off. You know, you can play the game how you want with relative, you have to do some setting up, you've got to put some work into it, but you can play the game pretty much how you want with what build you want, and I think that's fine. But people on these podcasts, on these forums, on everything, would have you believe that this is some hyper-competitive esports game where the entire goal is to be super, super fucking efficient, and they forget that this game's for fun. I swear people forget that.